Thank you again and welcome to another video that I call Sharing Life with You. I hope that you are doing wonderful this Sunday. It's a very windy day here in Morris, so I hope that the background noise doesn't interfere as to what I want to say today. In this video, I want to go ahead and do something a little bit more different. And what I want to do is I want to use some notes that I was writing down this morning as I was meditating. And I know that I've been talking a lot about in the videos as to resistance in your life and how to move on with life when you find yourself faced with resistance. But I want to go ahead and do something that is connected with change, and that is renewing your mind. And how is it that I would go about renewing my mind? And I believe that as you continue to make changes in your life, I hope that you are very patient with yourself because it's going to be a process of change. But I believe that the more that you stay persistent in doing what you really desire to do with your life, I believe that you are going to accomplish this as well. The ways of renewing your minds that have helped me was in some areas. You got to remember that we move by what we see, we're moved by what we hear, we're moved by what we feel. So there are a lot of ways that we live our life, and in some cases we also are moved by our past experiences. But I want to touch on areas that you can work on that will help you to renewing your mind. And I believe that as you do this in your own life in the way that works with you very well, and you really know who you are as to your challenges, your weakness, as to what you want to change in your life. Not everybody has a lot of things, a lot of what I would say a major problem where they find it that they have to make some really major changes, and that's okay. But I hope that what I share with you as to what has helped me may also help you. And I always believe that if you work on these areas, you're going to see changes. And I want to go ahead and say what would help you to renew your mind is going to be what you see, because what you see with your eyes really has an effect on you. And sometimes what we see isn't what is there, because the way that our mind will work, it's going to create these images. And so we have to be very careful what we are looking at in a daily basis. That goes with the type of news that you listen to, the type of or watch, or the movies that you are looking at. All of this has an effect, but I believe that in order for you to really make some changes in your life, you really got to watch what you're looking at. The other thing is what you are hearing. We have to be careful what we're hearing, because all of this enters in us, and I know some people may be like, well, that doesn't affect me. I'm going to tell you, it affects you in some way in your life. It'll affect you in some kind of accomplishment that you want to do. It may hold you back from doing something that you want to do. And you may realize and say, why is it that I didn't do that? Well, it could be because you heard something in the past that stayed inside of your mind and simply paralyzed you from really taking that step. The other thing, of course, and it lines up with what you do, is super important as to renewing your mind. Because the more that you continue to move forward in life, you're going to find out that this is going to begin to change the way you see yourself. And you're going to realize that as you continue to move on with life and continue to go ahead with all of the obstacles, all of the resistance in life, you're going to find yourself that you're accomplishing things. And this is going to help you to really change the way you think. It's going to help you renew your mind. Learning is so important. There are people who say, well, how can I change the way that I think? Well, you have to learn something new. And I believe that every day you apply something new to learn, you can turn the TV off, you can turn the music off for a little bit and learn something new, learn a new word, uh, learn about a new culture, learn about a new project or something. I'm telling you, for me, it was about eating healthy. When I took up about eating healthy and I began to research on nutrition and how to really care for yourself, in other words, how to really eat the right type of food, how to get the proper rest at night when you need it, how to relax, how to detox your body, you know what? It does make a difference in how you think. The other area, of course, is what you're thinking on. And this is super important. A lot of people says, I'm not into that. I don't care about that. But you know what? There's a lot of people who are living their life in the past, and they wake up thinking about the problem that they had yesterday, and they cannot live today, nor can they live for the future. And I'm telling you right now that if you were to really pay close attention to what you're thinking and begin to replace that thought with another thought, a thought of something that is good, a good memory, something that you accomplished in your life, something that you see yourself accomplishing, even though there may be some feelings of fear. And that's another area. You really gotta really understand your feelings, and because your feelings may mislead you. There are times you feel something that's going to happen and it doesn't happen. Well, your feeling misled you, and this is something that we really got to pay attention to. This is where faith comes in. Faith is something that you're not moved by what you feel, you're not moved by what you see, what you hear. You're simply moved by what you believe. And I'm going to emphasize this in a different way when I speak about journey. And you've heard me say this many times. For journey, what I mean by journey, and I hope that everybody who has heard my videos really has an open heart and an open understanding, because there are things that I'm going to say in one video, and I'm going to say it in a different way in another video. It's because I'm starting to add a little bit more to what I want to say. You know what? I believe in making my videos simple so everyone can understand it, even a young person, a child, so they can go ahead and do something with their life. Let's put it this way. Your journey in life is full of wonderful blessings that God has for you. And you may say, well, how is it that all of these, when you speak about blessings, how could there be blessings when I find myself in the situation where I'm at? Well, it has to do with moving on with life. You could be holding yourself back from moving forward in life and really miss what's in front of you. And when you go ahead in this journey of what life is and all the blessings that are here already on earth, you're going to begin to discover these blessings. You're going to find yourself where your body is going to get well. Your mind is going to change. You're going to have the job that you've always wanted. You're going to have the relationship that you always desired. You're going to live in the place where you really wanted to live in. But this is what I mean about your journey. And in your journey, there's going to be many lessons in life. There are going to be some good ones and there's going to be some bad ones. You got to take both of them and you got to study them. And that is so important for you to say, let me continue on with this journey. And by you doing this, renewing your mind is so important because of the resistance that you're going to find. The resistance of fear, of worry, of doubt, the resistance of the world and the things that are happening in the world. This is what it is, a renewing of the mind. And the renewing of the mind, you really got to pay attention to what you're seeing. What are you hearing? What is it that you're learning? What is it that you're doing? Hey, listen, read some books. I'm telling you, it's going to help out. You probably said, hey, listen, I don't like to read. Okay, then do some audio books. You can download them for free on YouTube. I've done that in the past, and I've downloaded them into my device, and I've listened to them. I've listened to them in my car, and I'm telling you, just learning something new helps your mind to be renewed. I'm going to tell you right now, I understand that we're all busy in life, and I'm not saying that you're not busy, but you got to make time for renewing your mind. I'm telling you, when you renew your mind, it's going to help you. And you may say, in what areas is going to help me? Well, it's going to help you in your way that you love people. It's going to be in a way that you no longer judge people. In other words, your attitude begins to change. You begin to speak with more kindness. You are more assertive in what you want to do with your life. You know what? In no way, when you look at me, am I a passive person? I am not a passive person. I believe that if I want something, I'm going to go and get it. I believe that if I want the answer, I'm going to ask someone to help me. And this is something that you got to understand. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in knowing where you are at in life and the changes you want to make in your life. But renewing your mind is so important. When you really study the human mind, you find out that in your brain, there are billions of neural cells. And the moment that you begin to renew your mind, they begin to connect. They begin to give information. Hey, listen, you can't explain it. Scientists has a way of explaining it, but you got to think about who you were created to be. And the amazing thing is that not only you have a heart, not only do you have lungs, not only do you have a liver and kidneys, you have a mind, and this mind is your blessing. It is your help to help you to make some really great decisions in life. Hey, listen, and if you mess up, hey, listen, just ask for forgiveness and then continue to move on with your life. You got to control your feelings, because the moment you mess up, I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to condemn yourself. You're going to want to feel guilty. You're going to want to set back. You're going to say, I don't want to do this. I don't believe in this. You know what? Don't listen to everything that your mind thinks of, and don't go by your feelings. Simply begin to renew your mind. And when you renew your mind, you're changing the way you believe. You're changing the way you think. You're changing the way you act. You're living for today. You're living for the future. Hey, it's wonderful to think about something in the past, a good memory. But if it's garbage and it's going to hold you back and it's going to bring you fear, you got to learn to let it go. Share my videos with your friends. Share it on Facebook. Share it through YouTube. This is the only way, and I have said this before, it's the only way that my simple videos can help somebody out, somebody who may need it. I really appreciate you taking the time and listening to this, and I hope for the next video that I continue to add more to this list so I can help you and I can also help myself. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Till the next video, have a wonderful day and be safe. Bye-bye.